Hey guys, Aqua Duelist here, and today we're going to do something new. Doing a versus video, hopefully going to make this series, and I thought, well, I haven't done this video in a while, and they have two boss monsters. So we're going to look at these cards and try to essentially determine which one is the better boss monster. In my personal opinion, I'm going with Spinos, but that's my opinion, though. And this is an opinion-based video, and we're going to analyze these guys, look at their effects, and just look at the potential they have. But we're going to start off with card effects. If you don't know what these guys do, Rex, essentially, his pendulum effect is if a Dinomist monster you control is being targeted by a card effect, you pretty much can just destroy this and negate the activation. Spinos pendulum effect, if a Dinomist monster you control, it would be a destroy battle or card effect, you can destroy this instead. So they both kind of do somewhat the same thing. The idea is they're both protecting your monsters. This just protects from battle, or this protects it from being destroyed, and then this just stops activations. Honestly, they kind of do the same thing, it's just they're worded differently. So both their pendulum effects are pretty even. Monster effects is where it's at, and what makes these guys different. Dinomist Rex, his monster effect is during the damage step, you can tribute one other Dinomist monster you control. He can either attack twice, and he can, if he attacks if he attacks a defense position monster, inflict battle damage. Not the main effect you'll be using off this guy. The other effect is what you would be using, which is where you can shuffle a random card from your opponent's hand or field back into the deck, and it does not target. Also, his attack's 2400, so while he's not the biggest and beefiest monster, he does have decent attack. So you should be able to hopefully swing over something to get this effect off. Dinomist Spinos, on the other hand, his monster effect is you contribute another Dinomist monster you control, and he can attack your opponent directly, or he can attack twice this turn. The thing is, you contribute two Dinomist monsters and gain both effects, so you can swing your opponent 5k to the face. So, first effect-wise, they can both attack twice. Pretty much the same. Pretty much they both kind of fulfill the same role. Can fulfill one particular role. But their other effects is what makes them different, and essentially causes them to be to essentially do two completely different things. Dinomist Rex here can essentially be a huge disruption. The thing is though, in order to, I feel, really get the best out of him, you want to find a way to spam all three, or spam all your copies of this onto the field, which usually with these guys, you either run 2 of each or 3 of one and 1 of the other. So for max disruption potential, you want to run this at 3, and a good card to somewhat help you help you span them onto the field is Rescue Hamster. Keep in mind, if you summon on the field with Rescue Hamster, their effects are negated, but you can use them to make a bigger link, and then just pendulum out and be able to activate their effects. So essentially, looking at this, you can send 3 cards from your opponent's hand back to the, or shuffle 3 cards from your opponent's hand back into the deck. Which you wouldn't be able to do it going first. That is a downside. Because that's when you'd really want to do it, is going first. So essentially causing your opponent to have essentially 2 cards on their hand instead of 5. But sadly, you can't do that. So while it is a strong disruption play, or a strong disruption ability, I do feel like it is hindered because he does have to inflict. It does have to happen during the damage step, which does kind of suck, but hey, what can you do? And then the thing is with Spinos is he can potentially be a game ender or a OTK, and the reason why he can be an OTK card is because of limiter removal, which actually just came back to 2 on the new ban list. So it's actually this card OTKing became more possible with this card, which essentially gives him a bit of an edge. Yes, you could use limiter removal on either one, but the difference here on that is attributing 2 Dinomists for Spinos and limiter removal is instant game. Not only that too, but the thing is, with Dinomists, they have a field spell, which actually would do Spinos a bit better because essentially during the battle phase, your opponent can't essentially activate any cards to stop you, to essentially stop you from attacking and all. So that with this is a definite game, which is nice. So looking at these 2 cards, looking at their card effects, 3 effects, each of them. Their pendulum effects are pretty much the same. They both can attack twice during a turn, but potential lot. And then this guy can essentially be disruption, and this can be a game ender. Potential. Well, this guy, while the disruption is nice, the fact that you can't do it on going first, turn 1, does suck. You definitely would have to go second. By that point, your opponent might not have much cards in their hand, unless they essentially been playing Gokis and going crazy with Nightmares. They could have hand traps. So essentially, you could knock out a hand trap protecting you for the turn, but I mean, this is the damage step, so they probably would have used it on you by then. Or you could actually just shuffle a random monster that you can't get over into the deck. And it doesn't target. So this can essentially get rid of a problematic monster if you can get over something smaller. Which is a nice factor on this. But with Spinos, though, he can just straight be a game ender. Which, using both of these over the years, people kind of don't expect really Spinos that much. When I'm using them, people don't really have counters to this a lot of the time. And the thing is, if your opponent uses a Solemn card, let's say they use Solemn Strike, so they're down to 15, or they're down 1,500 life points. And you have like a Miststar Boy in the field. That's 6,000 attack to the face. 6,000 attack to the face if you get both off. If you have the field spell, that's instant game right there. You have limb removal at all. That's just game. Which honestly, I feel like, yes, this could do more, however, it's not as, situation-wise, it's not in the best position, even though it has the better effect. However, Spinos could essentially come out anytime and just, smack your opponent and game. So, which one do I feel like is the best one? I'm going to go ahead and rule Spinos as the winner, as the better boss monster. And this is just my opinion. I know there's people who are gonna watch this and not agree. Just keep in mind this is an opinion-based video. And I mean, just the idea of being able to just straight end a game, especially if you can just get this on the field really quickly. I honestly feel like that's better than having a disruption effect when looking at the turn, and when you're able to activate this the disruption effect. It is kind of late, which I did explain. You can't use it going first, and if you're going second, your opponent might not have a lot of cards in their hand. Although this can get over, although his effect can remove really problematic monsters, you do have to get over more of a smaller monster to get rid of the bigger monster, or the big monster if you can't destroy it, just to remove him with the effect. So, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you guys have ideas of cards you would like to essentially show up in a versus video, put that in the comments, and what would you guys essentially want it pitted against morely, but it has to make sense, whereas these are like the two boss monsters of an archetype, of the same archetype. Make sure it makes sense. If you guys want to see more of my content, hit the subscribe button, and if you do, make sure you hit that notification button so you get notified when new content comes out. Thank you guys for watching.